It was possibly the most vibrant European Championships of them all. For the first time, 16 teams would compete in the finals for the coveted Henri Delaunay Trophy. The host nation was England. Germany were once again in the running, and the Italians were looking to better their runner-up spot at the 1994 World Cup. There was everything to play for. Euro 96 also threw up the big one, as hosts England took on the old enemy Scotland at Wembley. England had held Switzerland to a draw in their opening group match. Neighbours Scotland had also drawn with Holland. It set things up for a great match. A dull first half saw no chances, but Wembley erupted on 52 minutes when Gary Neville crossed for Alan Shearer. Scotland, though, were awarded a late penalty, but luck was on England's side as David Seaman saved Gary McAllister's spot kick. A minute later, it was all over. Paul Gascoigne showing a true flash of brilliance to score England's second of the afternoon. A wonderful goal, and perhaps Gascoigne's best ever moment in an England shirt.
It was a massive game for us because it's the first time that England have met Scotland for a long, long time, and it was such an important game. And I'll never forget the penalty, obviously, for me, because that was the turning point of the game. McAllister ran up and struck the ball, hit it quite well, but I just managed to save it with my elbow. And it hit my elbow and flew off. And I still wasn't sure whether it had gone over the bar or under it. And then I could tell by the crowd's reaction that it had gone over the bar.
England needed a point to be certain of qualification. In the event against Holland, they won the match in some style and gave one of the greatest individual performances in a major championships since 1966. Ahead through an Alan Shearer penalty, a 10-minute spell early in the second half killed off Holland. First Teddy Sheringham headed in. The lead extended soon after as Sheringham and Gascoigne set up Shearer for his fourth goal of the tournament. When Edwin van der Sar couldn't hold a Darren Anderton effort and Sheringham made it 4-0, the Dutch knew there was no second chance for them. To go through, they had to score a consolation goal. Patrick Kluivert came up with it, but this was England's day. The 4-1 scoreline thoroughly deserved. The Dutch qualified in second place, just ahead of Scotland on goal difference. St James's Park in Newcastle played host to a high-profile match billed as the Clash of the Balkans. As the two sides took to the pitch, all eyes were on their respective captains, Georgi Hagi and Hristo Stoichkov. The two stars were eager to outdo each other, and it was Stoichkov who came out on top. The Barcelona striker scoring the only goal of the game after only 3 minutes, as Romania's defence seemed reluctant to challenge. The Bulgarian star needed no invitation. 1-0 to Bulgaria, and Stoichkov was king of the Carpathians for the day. The final two games in Group C saw the Czech Republic take on Russia, whilst Italy played Germany. The Germans were already through, so it was between the Czechs and the Italians for second place. Italy had a Gianfranco Zola penalty saved by Andreas Kopka after only 8 minutes. It proved to be decisive. With 5 minutes left in the other game, Russia were leading 3-2, but Vladimir Smica made it 3-all. Arrigo Sacchi's nerves were being tested, and when the final whistle went, Italy were out. News filtered through to the delighted Czechs at Anfield that they were through to the quarter-finals.
We certainly had a magnificent group of players who were proud to wear the colours of our national team. That was the key, pride in representing our country. Ironically, it was our performance against Italy that set us on the road towards the final.
But disappointment in the Italian camp, they surprisingly were on their way home.
We played quite well in the tournament, but when you have to win against a team like Germany just to get to the quarter-final, there's no surprise when you don't make it. It's a pity because we won well against the Russians, but then we underestimated the Czechs a little bit, and after that we had to beat Germany to stay in the competition. We had a very harsh penalty given against us. And all in all, it was one of the least agreeable experiences I've had with the Italian national team.
In Group D, Croatia had already beaten Turkey, whilst Denmark had been held to a draw by Portugal. This match produced one of the goals of the tournament. With Croatia leading 2-0, Denmark were in dire need of goals. They threw everything forward. Even goalkeeper Peter Schmeichel made his way into the Croatian penalty area for a corner. But Schmeichel was made to pay for that rashness, as Davor Suker nonchalantly chipped the frantically backpedalling keeper to make the score 3-0. A wonderful finish from Suker, his second of the game, and it wrapped up a fine win for Croatia. A red face for Schmeichel, and the 1992 champions were out.
We had a very poor game against Croatia in the middle of the two games. And when I say poor game, it wasn't really a poor game. We're just very unlucky with our finishing. We did have the chances, and obviously we were pushing it at the end, and then they got the goals at the end of the game, and they won the game 3-0. Had we drawn that game, I mean, obviously we would have gone on to the next stage.
So Croatia through to the quarter-finals, joining Portugal, who'd booked their passage with 2 wins and a draw.